Discussion. Council members starting.
Mayor, some of the conversations that we've had, this is the NRG, we've talked about, you know, the things, the train leaves the station and there's no turning back. So I was listening to my colleagues and I have the same concern. So I've offered an amendment. Everyone should have a copy. An amendment has been received from Councilmember Starting on. You will speak to it? I can. It's brief enough that I can read it for the public. No later than 5 years from the date of the ordinance establishing the authority is passed and adopted, the authority shall be brought before the mayor and city council for a vote to renew the authority. And I've spoken to my colleagues, a few of my colleagues, and they were supportive, especially Councilmember Green, who's done the work on this. But I'm sure you can speak for himself.
Councilmember Christie.
Were there any discussions with Harris County on this, plus, minus?
I'm sorry, Councilmember, was there any discussion with Harris County? What was the last thing you said?
Just positive, negative, Mr. Green?
Well, there was conversations with, I know, Mr. Aikens and Mr. Churchill with Harris County regarding the formation of this. So yes, there has been discussions.
Councilmember, my understanding is that all of the South Main Center Association, all of the nonprofit and public entities surrounding NRG Stadium are in support of the Stadium Park Redevelopment Authority. It's not an LGC in the traditional sense, so it doesn't receive wouldn't receive public funds, and I think all the entities are supporting it.
I just exhort you to tie in Harris County. There's a lot of things they can assist with all the organizations.
Yes, sir, it is actually their facility. It's designed to enhance. Councilmember Bradford.
Thank you, Mayor. I have an amendment that's been distributed also, but I think I'm not going to profit in that. Is discussion has already been generated to the extent further than it had previously been offered, and I tend to support Councilmember Stardig's amendment here. But I just want to say that this is represented to be an LGC with a special purpose and limited scope, but the formation language doesn't do that. This LGC has the ability to do what other LGCs are doing if they choose to do so. There's a proviso which requires some council action, but all of them have that in there. I'm concerned anytime we create an LGC, and because it gives away parameters and discretion and authority that the council has. This particular RCA represents that it is here to create a local government corporation to assist the city in soliciting and collecting grants and contributions to fund beautification, green space, landscaping, parks, and recreational improvements around and leading to Reliant NRG Park in preparation for Super Bowl 51 to be played in Houston, February of 2017. And I would submit that if it's that limited in scope and that specific nature, then we should sunset it. It should be dissolved. But I would submit that it probably goes way beyond that, and that's the concern I have. This is different than a management district. A management district is controlled in part by state law. There's parameters in place. My amendment would have sunsetted 180 days after the Super Bowl. If the purpose is in fact for the Super Bowl, why do we need to run 5 years after the Super Bowl before we are going to even take another look at it? That's a concern I have. But whether it's 180 80 days after the Super Bowl, which may be too soon to deal with all of the issues and conduct a wrap up or winding up activities. That may be too soon anyway, so maybe a year would be more appropriate. But let me yield and ask my colleague, why 5 years, if I may, Mayor?
I'd be happy to respond. I did speak with Ed Wolf, who was very involved in this, and he seemed concerned that some of the contributions that may come in may be large sums and maybe over a period of time, and he felt 5 years would allow for the breakdown in the payments, the donations. So I felt that 5 years was reasonable, and it also gives the council the authority to come back and decide if they want to renew it or not. However, if not, then it dissolves. And it also encourages, if they're looking for a management district, that they move that direction and that they know there's a time constraint or there's a sense of urgency.
Thank you. I appreciate your response and your input. Thank you, Mayor.
Council members, just a technical thing, the city secretary has pointed out, section 7 is actually the last section of the ordinance, and so you're just adding this language to section 7 rather than inserting a new section 8, if that would be acceptable. And yeah, no material impact, just for the city secretary. We will consider this as an amendment to section 7. Councilmember Green.
Thank you, Mayor, and let me thank Councilmember Sardis for working with us on that amendment. I would accept the amendment. The objective of this is to get started immediately on the fundraising aspects to get ready for Super Bowl. There wasn't an intent to go before the legislature for management for this particular area. Obviously, legislation doesn't meet until next year. This gives us an opportunity to get started on the fundraising process. Also, of course, to enter into agreements with regard to maintenance agreements with Esplanade, things of that nature. So, again, no public funds associated with this, and it gives us an opportunity to have some sort of entity that can start doing the work that needs to be done to get the area in shape. So I appreciate all the support of my colleagues. Thank you.
Councilmember Lassiter.
Thank you, Mayor. I just, for points of clarification, I'm understanding that Councilmember Bradford will not be proffering his amendment. Is that correct, Councilmember?
Correct.
And I'm understanding from you through Councilmember Stardy that this language will be added as a last sentence to section 7. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Favoring? Opposed? Item carries. Now we're in the main item. That was the amendment. Main item as amended. Is there discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. Favoring? Opposed? Item carries. Next item.
The next item is item 30. It is an ordinance.
Discussion?
Thank you.
Favoring? Opposed? Item carries.
Item 34 is a review of the record.
Councilmember